this is it's very sad news, to be honest, because it means more job losses. But Crytek, they've been having financial issues lately, and the UK office has officially shut down, and Deep Silver has bought the Homefront IP, so they've taken that over completely. So, Michael A., how do you feel about this?
I think everyone always knows, like, as someone who's trying to get into the industry, someone who loves games and just loves not just playing them, but knowing how they're made and respecting the people that make it. Like, whenever I hear about a studio closing down, it's never good news. Like, it's always saddening to me. It actually kind of depresses me, just because I know how difficult it is to get a foot in the industry. So when you finally get there, to see a place close down, like, those are first of all, those are lots of people who thought they've lost their jobs. So even with people getting hired at other development companies, there are going to be people who are going to go without food. There's going to be going without paychecks for a while, and that's a struggle. That's real life. And in addition to that, Crytek, I don't know. I like Crytek as a company. They make quality games. They make games that usually they push the graphical envelope, but not just in a pixel way, but in a way that actually impacts gameplay. I don't like this. I also wonder how this is going to impact Homefront, thinking about it now, because that game was pretty much well into development already. So I wonder what you said Deep Silver's taking over?
Yeah, well, it was the Deep Silver parent company. Not sure of the name. I haven't got it in front of me, but I guess it's pretty safe to assume that the Deep Silver studio will take over.
Will take over, okay. So, I mean, it's still going to solid hands, but I just want to know how that's going to impact that game. And also, I wonder what else this means for Crytek as a whole, because, I mean, I'm hearing rumors that, the sequel to Rise is probably not going to happen now, which is unfortunate. But I figured Microsoft would probably at least either get the rights to that franchise or front the bill or something like that. Because I know people like to hate on Rise, but that game is enjoyable to me. I don't know why people hate that game so much. It's fun. And when people say the game's repetitive, I'm like, name a video game where you don't do the same thing over and over again. In a first-person shooter, you shoot people, and that's it. It's the same thing. But for some reason, Rise is guilty of being repetitive, but shooters aren't. Like, that makes no sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how any of this is good news, really. It's just bad news, and it's something that's happening more and more often in gaming as of late. Like, there's more studios closing down every year as time goes forward. And this isn't good, and people, something needs to happen, because it's harder and harder for game companies to make a profit with people demanding more from games for less. Something has to give. And I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, something has to give. People are going to have to start, being willing to pay for quality. People are going to have to start understanding that simple things that they think don't impact gaming, like buying and selling used games, actually heavily impact gaming. So, yeah. I don't know. I best wishes to all the people that lost their jobs, basically.
Yeah, how do you feel about it, Richard?
Well, I would like to say that, yes, this is bad news. I know we very briefly touched upon this on the last episode at the end where I mentioned that there was a rumor that Deep Silver was considering buying them. So they actually, now that they have bought them, yes, very disappointing news. One thing that you may not know, I mean, I have spoken to the producer on Rise as well as the producer on Crysis. And, this guy, both of these guys left the company, about a month ago. So, but they saw that this was coming, and unfortunately, it came to this where even this Homefront project, which was announced at E3, is now, it's all Deep Silver's. Now, it's good for Deep Silver because just like they did with THQ when they took Saints Row, this is why it's good for them, because they can continue to do a good job on these particular projects. I don't know how it will affect the development, because I don't know how far along the project is. The producer of that Homefront game also left, so once again, I'm not sure what they would have to do, if it will still be coming out next year, if it will get delayed until 2016, who knows. But I do know it's bad. One thing I do want to add though, I do agree that people definitely should be willing to buy and experience other games. I also enjoyed Rise very much so. Some people will think I'm crazy for saying that because, as I said, it's just a unique experience. I'm a fan of TV shows from that time era, so obviously when I picked up that game, I loved it. What I will say though is this. I do believe, I'm not for sure how well that game sold on the Xbox One, but I have to say Microsoft definitely need to get some of the slack for that because I feel if they came out with this Xbox One at a competitive price, of dropping the price later and getting ready to Kinect. But here's the thing, Microsoft can afford to take a loss. So if they came out at launch and that system was already $399, I think, hey, they would have sold a hell of a lot more consoles. They would have been neck and neck with PlayStation 4, and Rise probably would have sold more because people wouldn't have to worry about spending an extra $100 just to get the Kinect when they could have put that money towards a game. But that's just my opinion. It's not good though. But I do wish everybody who was without work, I hope they're not without work that long. I know because I've been without work for quite a while myself. So I hope they are able to recover.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that the game will suffer a delay because it can't be easy to take on a huge project like this from another company because, there's all these assets and resources from the game that, this new company now has to take on board and make sense of it all and try and continue the work that's already been done. And so this game originally belonged to THQ, right? Homefront.
Yes, that's the irony of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
it almost seems like this game is cursed. Anyone who has this game loses out.
Did they already start the game at THQ, like the second game?
I'm not really sure about that.
I don't believe so. I think that was all Crytek that started the second Homefront. I could be wrong though.
No, I think you're right. I think it is all Crytek.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big task to take on. I hope that, the game will turn out to be good because a lot of people have expectations for it now. And it's crazy because this game was announced, not so long ago. So, they could have really held on to the announcement if they were aware of any issues they were having within the company. But, yeah, I mean, I just hope that we get the game that we're looking forward to. Any last thoughts on that before we move on?
I don't have any last thoughts, but just to say that, yes, the trend continues as far as this stuff is concerned. I'll be very concerned about other companies in the future, but, yeah, it's just not good, especially for those trying to get into the industry, trying to do stuff in the job field. This is very discouraging, so, but I do hope everybody recovers from it.
Do you guys feel like we might suffer another gaming industry crash because it seems like a lot of companies are on the decline right now? We're hearing about job losses left, right, and center. Companies suffering financial losses and everything. Like, are we heading towards a gaming crash? Do you think it could happen?
Well, I think we're gonna see another gaming crash. If I'm to be honest, we're going to. I've been saying it for a while. And the trends starting to the trends I saw before are starting to happen more rapidly now. It's you can't keep demanding all these things from gaming companies and giving them very little in return. Gaming is an industry, and industries need money. If there's no profit to be made, they'll move elsewhere. Especially now, and we're going to be talking about this later, people, or not all, some people are really, really trying to big up the big industry, the indie scene. But I'm like, the indie scene, at some point in time, the indie scene coming up is nice, I guess, in that it allows for new creative ideas or whatnot. But what happens when those indie games stop being indie games? Like, a game like Minecraft, is that really an indie game anymore? It's a multi-million-dollar game. You know what I mean? A lot of those games eventually will reach AAA status. And when they do, the same problems that AAA companies are having now. They have employees, and they're putting in work, and they're taking risks, and they're getting very little return on their risks because people expect them to just do things for free. Or for the gamers. Gamers are extremely selfish and entitled. They don't want to pay for anything. So yes, I do see another gaming crash coming.